Hey guys, welcome back to the Atlas podcast. So today I'm here with Isa Pecini. We just filmed 2 out of 3 of our instructional training videos for you guys. And we decided to also do a podcast so that you can get to know her a little bit better if you don't know her already. And I compiled a list of questions that you guys asked, and we're going to go through them one at a time and then just get into it. Isa, how's it going?
Hi, I'm good, and I'm so happy to be here talking a little bit English because it's my first English podcast, so I know you have a lot of questions for me.
Yeah. So actually, I met Isa, I think, in 2018.
Yeah.
And you didn't understand a word of English. You couldn't speak in English, right?
Yes.
I said hello to you, and you didn't even know how to respond. You just said, like,
Hi.
No, I don't even think you said hi.
Yes, I don't know.
You just waved your hand. You didn't know any English. And now she's been learning. She's going to school and trying to learn more English so that she's able to communicate with more fans and get, instead of just speaking Portuguese, right? She's from Brazil. So we can do the best we can with this podcast and try to get to know Isa a little bit more. So Isa, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me why you started bodybuilding and get into that a little bit.
So I'm 26 years old. I started competitions with 18 years old, and I turned pro with 19 years. And I won the Olympia with 22 years old. And I started bodybuilding because before I had bulimia and anorexia. So after that, I tried to find one way like to get the body I like, but stopping doing the things I did before, like no eating or bad things. And after that, after I recover, I told my doctor I want to start to go to the gym and do exercise. And I started with the bodybuilding. I learned it. I need it to get energy, to go to the gym, to do the things I like, to be healthy and with the body I like.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So you were anorexic before, and you wanted to stop being that way, and you needed another outlet to control your food, right? So instead of not eating, you had to eat to have energy to go to the gym, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you started bodybuilding. So you said you started competing when you were 18, right?
Yes.
Turned pro at 19,
Yeah.
and then you won the Olympia at 22.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know if anyone's ever won the Olympia at that age before 20 years
No,
old.
before me was Courtney,
Yeah,
but she had 23.
23. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So someone wants to know, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
With one more Olympia title.
What more Olympia title?
I have a lot of dreams and a lot of goals, but I don't like to tell about too much about my goals because I wanna get this first and after tell.
I understand. So you don't want to talk too much about your goals and dreams, and you want to.
Yeah. But we are working for one more title, Olympia title, with as athlete. This is my goal. In my personal life, I want to buy my apartment. I want to work more. I want to do a lot of things.
Yeah, she's been, the whole time we're here, she's on the phones with the realtors trying to get trying to buy a house or a condo or something.
Yeah.
Isa's very smart. She's very educated too. She's always, you're in a college or university?
University.
University. And she graduated. Did you graduate or not
Yes.
yet? She just graduated a bachelor's degree in, what was it again? Where were you studying?
In Brazil, we call educação física, like a personal trainer here, but
Okay.
there we need 4 years.
So in Brazil, to be a personal trainer, you need 4 years of college or university, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's insane. So it's a lot more complex to be able to personal train there. And she was explaining to me too that if she wanted to actually give diets and make diets in Brazil, she also needs another degree.
Yes.
So you have to be basically you have to study college university in biomechanics and physiology.
Yeah, and now I'm doing I will start my post-graduation in biomechanics and physiology of exercise.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so it's an intense college course to be able to do these things, and that's what she wants to do. She's working on that, but she's so organized because she's in university and she understands how to study for tests and how to take notes and stuff too. And working with her, she's just as crazy as me. She's very organized. She's very on top of everything and scheduled, and I love that. One of my employees, she's making translating ebooks for me, and she said, I really like how Isa works. She's very organized and meticulous at retail. I'm like, I know, it's amazing. And coaching an athlete like her, I know that if I say eat 100 grams of rice, she's going to eat 100 grams of rice, not 101, not 98, and she's going to be really perfect on every detail. And it's just really easy coaching her because she's very meticulous with every detail, right? And every nuance that goes into contest prep, being an athlete. So, and you said you wanted a family and maybe have kids eventually and stuff too?
Yes, sometimes this is fun because 6 years ago, when the people ask me, you wanna get family or have babies? No, I wanna travel the world and be by myself and do a lot of things. No, I don't wanna kids and nothing. But with the time, my mind changed, and yes, I wanna one family, have kids one day, and I can travel the world with my family too. I want to do this a lot before, but I can keep after too.
Yeah, you're right. And 6 years ago, you're like 20 years old, you're a kid, right? So
Yeah.
obviously, you don't want to, you're starting your bodybuilding career and you don't want to have kids and a family. But me too, when I was younger, I was like, I don't want kids, I don't want a family. And now I'm like, yeah, I want a daughter or two and eventually to do that too. I feel just as you age, is something some people feel like they need to do just to have the full, like, complete experience everything. So
yeah, I think with the time, the mind change and everything. So you think more about your future and
yeah, from 20 years old to like 26, 27, 28, you change a lot. And
Yeah.
from like 20 to 35, you should change a lot, hopefully. So yeah, you're always having like different dreams and your path changes and things happen and you meet different people and you're like, maybe it's not as simple as it seems. So he said someone wanted to know who your motivation was. Do you have a specific person in mind? Is it just yourself as a motivator? How do you?
I don't have one person. I like to see history of athletes or some people like achieve something bigger and see history and get something there to learn and get with motivation. But I like to see my history too and get this with motivation. Remember when I started was how this was harder and where I am now, and to get this with motivation too.
Okay. Yeah, so you're looking basically at your past too and seeing the road that you went and that motivates you to go further, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's true.
So very simple question. What's your favorite cheat meal? Isa doesn't like to have cheat meals, just so you know.
My favorite, like really cheat meal?
Like the mommy.
No, really shit meal,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so it's burger, but only
Really?
yes.
Morning, come on.
No, if I need eat cheat meal is but one specific burger in Brazil. But if I can choose, I prefer like it's my food, but with more quantity. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I love I really love like white rice, salmon, veg, and pancake, and everything. I have my diet, but no weight.
Yeah, no way. She eats
Yeah.
as much as you can. It's really easy to coach her that way because she's not, oh, I need a cheat meal because she just likes the food that she eats. And you went to Europe for 3 weeks after the Olympia and you came back and you're like the same weight as when you competed at the Olympia. I was like, okay, so you're too lean right now. So she went to Europe, right, probably because of all the walking, but
Yeah.
she's not going there to binge after a show. And usually when an athlete goes on vacation after a show, it's a disaster, right? Because you go from restricted dieting and doing all kinds of cardio and training, and then you go on vacation for 3 weeks or even a week, and then you stop doing all that and you start eating whatever you want, and it's usually a disaster. But Isa comes back and she's leaner than when she was at the Olympia. I was like, okay, I guess that's good. Perhaps it's going to be easy because we don't have to lose any body fat.
Yeah, I was scared because I didn't have time to do my my reverse diet
Yeah.
because I went to Europe 2 days before Olympia, 3 days.
After the
Yeah, but there I didn't follow diet, but I ate like health, like what I like to eat. Yeah, it's health, and I walk a lot, and I keep my workout, and
Yeah, she was training in Europe too. I didn't even know there's gyms in Europe. Every time I go to Europe, I never see a gym. I don't know.
I just put in the Google Maps gym close to me, and okay.
But she's a professional, right? This is how she operates. So she went to Europe for 3 weeks with her sister, right? She didn't
Yeah.
follow a reverse diet. And usually for anyone, that would be a disaster. But she made all the right choices with her diets. I'm sure she had a bit of sugar here and there, but just the excess walking and being very mindful of what she's eating and not just binging on everything because she's done her show. She's able to come back and her prep isn't ruined for the Arnold, right? If she came back and she weighed 25 pounds more than what she did at the Olympia, which I'm sure many people would going to Europe for 3 weeks when you're doing tons of cardio and training and this and you stop it, the Arnold prep would have been much harder. But she's a professional. She always acts like a professional in off-season and in prep, and that makes my job a lot easier.
It's because I like to feel better with my body too. Like I like to Like stop to train, to stop, start eating a lot of things I usually don't eat. I tried, of course, something different, but I try it and nothing like crazy.
Exactly. I don't just go from eating chicken and rice to having cakes and pizza and stuff every day after the show. It's gonna be a disaster.
Yes. I think for digestion and everything, I don't like it. And I feel lazy. I don't like this.
Yeah, are you an active person? You like to read and hang out at home though. And
yeah, I spend more time at home, but I like to go to know, even when I can't eat, I like to go to restaurants and with my sister or friends just to hang out. I like to go.
You're a really good bodybuilder. You're very structured, but you actually like it. No one has to force you to do these things. You're like, oh man, if I eat that, I know I'm gonna feel like shit after. My stomach's gonna hurt. I'm not gonna like how I look. I'm gonna gain weight, and I want to stay healthy all the time. And some people are just like, I'm gonna binge and do everything I want, and then they deal with the consequences after. So I never have to deal with that with you ever. And it's hard. And none of people have that in them, but that's gonna make them best athletes. That's the ones that are focused. And I don't have to force you to do these things, right? I don't have to remind you. You're gonna do them yourself anyways, because that's how you want to feel good, right? You want to look good and you want to make the most out of your bodybuilding career, and that's going to help you. She's not gaining 15, 20, 25, 30 pounds after a show and then dropping down. No, she's very like steady. I think we're like 3 kilograms, like 7 pounds above her Olympia stage weight. And she's eating a decent amount of food. Probably just dropped it down, but like last week she was like 2,200 calories, like minimal cardio, 8 weeks out. Now we're going to cut it down a little bit more, but we're not doing nothing to do drastic measures and drastic preps all the time to get her stage lean, because she's reasonable in her off season, right?
Yeah.
We increase her foods here and there, but she just likes to feel good and look good. And that's what if you can have that mindset as a bodybuilder, you're going to be a lot more successful and have a lot more longevity in the sport.
And I think you brought my metabolism back too, because sometimes when I saw some prep before, like this time, I was eating so less and doing a lot of more carbs, and I was seeing my diet now versus my diet in another prep at the same time, and I was like, oh my God. I was eating less.
A lot less, doing more cardio.
Yes, doing more cardio, and my weight is so high, 4 kilos more than I'm now.
8 weeks out. Yes, one of the questions were like, what did you change in peak weekend contest prep? And what she just mentioned was that before her weight would be higher, and then you would only start prep like 10, 12 weeks out though for a show, eh? Like you wouldn't send check-ins all the off season, and then you would just send check-ins like 10 or 12 weeks out?
Yes, only 10, 12 weeks.
Yeah, it doesn't work. In the off season, you do whatever you want, right?
Yeah, or maybe never.
Yeah.
Because I always hate see my body in off season.
I know, but I force you to send me.
Yes.
I force her before she would send check-ins with her coach 10, 12 weeks out, and then they would just do like a crash prep dieting, right, to try to like bring back for the off season. But since she's accountable to me in the off season, I'm like, I don't care if you think you look fat. Send me your check-in. We're doing this together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's gonna make your preps a lot easier, and you're gonna be progressing where we need to be progressing, right? If I just let you do your off season on your own and be like, okay, we'll see you in 30 weeks, and then you come back and it's fuck. We didn't really have time to. We don't have time to build. We don't have time to work on your posing and communicate and see how you feel and making sure that you don't go off track and gain 15 pounds, 20 pounds. So that makes your preps a lot easier.
Yes, and I was more secure because it was seen, in my mind, my weight up more, but you thought, okay, I'm seeing you, it's okay. We are in the right time.
Right track, yeah.
Yeah, and okay, he's seeing me, he's changed everything if need, okay.
Yeah, you're a lot more trusting now than when you first started, because this first shot, she's like, are you sure I'm going to be ready? I'm like, weight's high. I'm like, it's our first show together, so you're nervous. But now that you've seen that we've done a couple of shows, your Olympia, you look really good, and you came top 5. Now that you're like, okay, I know I'm going to be ready. I know I'm on track, and I could see my body physically improving, that you're like, okay, I'm just going to follow the process because I'm going to be ready.
Yeah, and it's because before I need like, oh, maybe it's time to change this. Maybe it's time to more cardio. I remember the things. And
then you would mention it to your coach that you had to change these things?
I never changed by myself, but I always suggest it. Yes, it's not time to. Yes, maybe it's time to change something. So if I not tell nothing changed. So if you like, when I think if you change something, you send, okay, the time exactly to change everything. So I feel more confidence.
Yeah, because you can just do the work.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what to do, and you just do it. You don't have to be like, maybe I should increase cardio. Let me contact the coach and see.
Maybe he forgot my diet. No.
Yeah,
Like
I never
something like
forget
that,
that. Yeah. But that's why I like work with you, because you're crazy and meticulous like me, right?
Yeah.
And you're very like structured, and
You are more.
I'm more, okay, yeah, maybe I'm full crazy, but you're a little bit crazy, which is good. I like working with someone that's a little bit crazy and organized, and because it makes my life easier. If I'm working with someone that doesn't know what's going on and they can't organize themselves and they're late to check-ins every time, it's, oh my God. But that's just how I work, and I think it works for you too, because you could just bodybuild and it's easier. Like you're the machine. I just tell you what to do and you just do it, and then we work good together.
Yeah, I think for everything in life you want something, you need organization and plan this and everything.
Yeah, I think
for
those
everything
happen by themselves. People think that in life things are just gonna happen for you and you're gonna have a great job and this. No, you need to do things strategically. If we tried to like improve your physique and we're just like, let's just prep and not really have a plan and just whatever, we don't know. And how are you gonna improve? We have to be meticulous with every detail, organized. Moving here to Toronto that we can work together in person. We could have been lazy and be like, you know what, I'll just see you at the Arnold and hope for the best and we'll just whatever. Like we could have done that, but we're like, no, it's a pain in the ass. Let's get you here, Toronto. I'm gonna fly to Toronto. Let's train together, and we can see how beneficial this was, right, for both of us. That I can learn your body and see how you train and fix things and change habits. And it takes work and takes time to really do, as you were saying, anything in your life, right? You need to plan and you need to and be organized. If you're just hoping things are going to happen in your favor, it's not. Everything that happens in your life is 99% of the chance based on your decisions that you make. And you could have changed the path. If you're 35, 40 years old and you have a shit job and you're single and you're miserable with your life, it's your fault 99% of the time. Like it's the decisions that you made that you got to where you are. And it's the same thing for everything, as you said. So,
yes, of course.
Yeah. It says calories in prep and off season compared to before.
We did only one off season.
Yeah, one real off season at the start.
Yes, I think I was with 1,200.
1,200?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, it depends. And your calories go up and down a lot, though. It's hard. We don't have a stable.
Yeah, the first off season was this, but on the same prep in the final, it was like 5,000 calories. But before, when I needed grow muscle, the maximum was like 2,800 calories, more one for meal a week.
Okay.
One cheat meal a week. But this really a long time ago when I needed grow more muscles. And in peak week changed a lot, because now I really eat more than before. Before 800 calories for a long time with 2 hours of cardio and this. And now the final week, was like, it depends the body, but I was less cardio and more calories.
So yeah, that's exactly what the whole point of being with an athlete in the whole off season, right? So she would come back and you're doing a prep 10 weeks out, and then you have to crash diet because your body fat's high, crash diet, right? Do very low calories, do very high cardio, and then in peak week change so many things because you're still not ready. You know what I mean? And that's why your body was like not improving over the years. Like you peaked when you went to Olympia, and then it started going down right after that for like years after. But it's the same thing. Like I had an athlete just rejoin yesterday. She's like, I want to do a show in 12 weeks. I said, if we do the show in 12 weeks, I have to crash diet you, and we have to do tons of cardio, and you're going to look the same as you did last time. Let's do an off-season together. And some people just like to do that. I'll hire a coach for 12 weeks, not to do the off-season alone, and you never get anywhere doing that. You know what I mean? And then that's where you probably have metabolism. You have to crash diet. Now that I'm keeping you in check all off-season, right, you still eat a decent amount of food, but if you go a little bit too high, I pull you back, right? And then we can work together. And then now the preps are pretty easy. They're pretty like straightforward. We're always on track. You're always ready 2-3 weeks out, and then we cruise into the show. You're not doing... You said like your Olympia, I can't remember which Olympia, but one of these Olympias, you're doing like 3 hours of cardio 2 days out.
2020 was crazy because like I think 9 weeks out, I was like, my carb was only 100 of pumpkin.
100 of pumpkin.
Yes,
yeah,
for a long time.
That's not.
And a lot of cardio, so my metabolism was so bad, and I had a lot of thyroid
issues.
Yes, but I didn't know during the prep. So after the prep, when I did my blood tests,
Well, yeah.
and I saw a lot of things. And
this was in 2020.
Yes.
Okay.
And now I know why nothing was working, and it was
If you're crash dieting for that long, right, and trying to catch up, and then you said like you did like an athlete meeting on the Thursday, but you did like 1 hour of cardio in the morning, 1 hour cardio, 3 hours of cardio on 2 days out from Olympia, and that's just your body's gonna be tired. And you can't look good with that. So it's always I try to get her ready in advance, which is something she's never done before, but it's been working for her now. I get her ready 2-3 weeks out, and we don't have to use any diuretics for the show. Going to the show, we don't use any for the Olympia or anything, and she just cruises into the show, and then we're actually able to feed her a little bit into the show. And then she's able to go to Europe and go on her diet. If she's after a competition, she's crash dieting, right? And her thyroid goes to shit, and you're eating nothing for 10 weeks and just like protein for 10 weeks with nothing else, and your blood work is all screwed up, then you go to Europe and you gain 25 pounds, and it's a cycle over and over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now that she's able to stay on track, she like stays like 7-8 pounds above her Olympia weight, which is she's able to do. Yeah, the preps are pretty easy, and we get you ready in advance. We don't have to do anything drastic in peak week. I remember the first couple of shows, she was freaking out. She's like, oh my God, because she's used to doing so many changes in peak week, big water load and big water drop and diuretics and this. And I'm just like, no, this is not what we're going to do. We're going to just go steady all the way through because you're ready. We wake up every day. We know how you look. Make small changes here and there. Sometimes I got to feed her a little bit more. At the Olympia, the peak was a pain in my ass, but we made it work. But I'm learning her body as we go. And yeah, we're going to get better every show. For sure, we're going to get better every show.
Yeah, so. Because every show I will know more about my body and everything. So
yeah.
And the thing about off-season is a lot of athletes don't pay attention on off-season, and I'm off-season, so I don't want to do cardio. I eat everything I want, and I do a lot of shit meal when I
feel like
yes. I see a lot of things like this, and in off season is like improvement season. You need work for improvement. So I saw a lot of athletes like lost when I maybe in off season. Not your athlete.
No, exactly.
Now I know.
Yeah.
And
yeah, exactly. Some people they look at contest prep as like a crash dieting phase. So they'll go to off season, eat whatever they want, train, whatever, not do cardio, get fat, and they're like, okay, time to cut 12 weeks out. That's not. Bodybuilding isn't a crash diet once a year. Yeah. It's an all-around year thing, right? Where you're making progress, and then you make progress, your body fat's a little bit higher, you get your hormones, everything stable, and then you diet down, let's say 10, 15 pounds to get contest prep, and then you do it over again. That's how you make consistent progress.
Yeah, it's because it's what I think. I think I'm not an athlete only for a stage. I want to do lifestyle. I want to do eat health food. Okay, I can enjoy a little bit when I'm far off the show or sometimes, but I in most part of the time to keep my diet, my cardio, my workout is not only for one stage.
Right. Exactly. It's for your life.
Yes.
I was talking to Adam about this, and he mentioned, we're talking about you and like how you're a professional. And there's a difference between athletes that live it, like you're like an athlete all the time, versus people that are just athletes in prep, right? It's not the same thing. Yeah. And if you're just an athlete in prep and not outside of prep, you're going to have a lot more hormonal damage. You're going to have a lot more issues. Your calories are going to have to be a lot lower in prep. It's not stable. You're yo-yoing up and down all the time. Yeah. If you're an athlete all year round, you're going to have a lot more success, and you're going to come out of the sport a lot healthier too. What are your advice for people who are just starting to compete?
You need, who are starting, I think you need put this in your mind. Do your best every single day, trust in the process, studying about the category you are going, see videos and podcasts, because you can learn a lot. And practicing posing, it's a lot. It's very important. But patience, like calm, patience, yes, patience, and enjoy the process. I know sometimes can be hard, but you need to know what is your goal and put this in your mind. So you do this thing now for your goal in the final.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that goes back into exactly what we've been talking about the whole time, which is enjoy the process. And do you actually like being an athlete in the off season, right? If you hate doing cardio and nobody like training and you hate dieting, probably shouldn't compete unless it's one time, because you're not gonna get far in the sport if you don't like the bodybuild and you don't like the diet and prep your food. You're not, right? You have to enjoy it. It has to be your lifestyle. So work on really making it part of your life first and embracing bodybuilding as a whole. And then really, if you like it, right? You like the training, you like the dieting, you like the cardio and stuff too, and everything that goes into it and practicing posing, then maybe you should do competitions. If it's not something that you really feel passionate about and something you don't really like to do, then I wouldn't even consider competing, honestly.
Yes, I don't love the cardio, but I know.
I don't know. Sometimes we do a little bit more than I tell you to do.
Because I know this can, if I do, this is part of the process to go close to my goal. I learned and enjoy this, and so I put music, and I need those. So I need enjoy this time and enjoy the process. And
you
this.
enjoy the training and like how you feel with your food and your dieting and stuff too, right? Like,
Yeah.
if I offer you, hey, let's have a chocolate cake right now, you're probably going to say, no, it's not getting me close to my goal. And that wouldn't make me happy to have this, right?
Yeah.
So it should make you happy that what you're doing is going to further your progress and get closer to your goal, right?
Yes.
How do you reverse diet well and stay on track after competitions? I think that's just already got into this a little bit, but yeah, it's just having a reverse diet sent to you first, right? I send my clients a reverse diet within maximum like 12, 24 hours after a competition. And it's just adhering to it and staying accountable with your coach. If you're not used to just coming off competition and just really reverse dieting and having a strategy and doing this like clockwork, like after every competition, and you haven't done too many shows, you got to stay accountable to your coach. And I mentioned this in one of my last podcasts is don't try to like, let's say you gain 10 pounds after competition, don't try to fix it yourself. Work with your coach, send it, check in, even if you feel fat, even if you feel disappointed, send it in and be accountable. Because if you try to fix it yourself, you're going to crash diet over and over again, then you're going to binge, then you're going to crash diet, then you're going to be like, hey coach, I'm up 45 pounds, and then you're screwed. Right? You screwed up your whole offseason, and you're going to waste months and months trying to rebalance your hormones and get your metabolism back and getting your body fat down. It's just stay accountable with your coach as number one, no matter what. Even if you don't want to send check in, send it in and work with them to really get back on track. And once again, remember that you're a bodybuilder and what you want to do. Why are you binging? Why can't you reverse diet? I know reverse dieting is difficult, but if your goal is to turn pro, qualified Olympia, or win Olympia one day, these are things you're going to have to do to get there. Do you really enjoy the dieting after your competition? It's going to be a lot easier for you if you're a professional bodybuilder and you act like a professional, and that your reverse diet is going to be a lot easier because you want to feel good. If you're not really like set on your goals and really focused and just like a professional athlete, then you're going to have a lot higher chance to go off track and not really follow what you're supposed to do, versus you know that if you binge after your competition, it's going to make your preps much harder. So you don't do it, right? Yeah. That's because you're focused on your goal and you're professional, what you do. Someone who's unprofessional and just does the crash dieting here and there, if you can't really reverse diet and you gain all that weight after a competition more than once, happens 2, 3, 4 times, you probably shouldn't compete because you don't really like the process that much. And you don't mind suffering if you feel terrible and you gain 30 pounds. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be easier if you're really focused and you're really into the sport. But if you have a slip up after your first competition, I understand. But if this happens after every single show, you probably shouldn't compete because it's not really for you and you're not really professional with what you're trying to do.
Yeah, but I never had a reverse diet before, so it was the first time. And it was the first time too, I was like 3 weeks before the show with the same weights, 3 weeks, 4 weeks with the same weight from stage, because before it was so hard. 10 days after show, 10 pounds more, 12 pounds more. I was like, oh my God, what is my body? That is everything I work for.
You never received a reverse diet before?
No.
It's such a thing. So if you're eating 800 calories going to a show and then the show is done, right? You're done, and then you have no reverse diet. She's like eating. She doesn't know.
I eat by myself.
She just eats by herself what she wants, and then you gain 15 pounds. But yeah, so I'm really adamant on saying the reverse diet right away so that you could you know what to follow, right? And if your coach doesn't send you a reverse diet, ask them for one, which they should automatically send it. And if they don't, just go back to the diet that you're on like 2 weeks out around there, and then see and talk to them like, hey, what diet should I follow, etc. But it should be just common for a coach to send it within. So you send the night of the show or the morning after, so that athletes don't binge after a show. Then you don't really have any excuse, right? If you got a reverse diet from your coach and you have a plan, then you should follow the plan, right? If you want to stay true to the process.
Yeah, but I always like to have something to follow, so I try to make my something to follow, and
Yeah. No, I know. That's why you're very meticulous. That's something like you like plan and you love structure, right? You like detail. So you're like, I know if I give you something, you're gonna keep you a lot more on track because you have a plan, you have something to follow, and something you can do. Okay, I know what to do. I'm good. Instead of just good luck on your own, then you're gonna be all over the place.
Yes.
So
it's great.
Yeah. 6-week strategy now versus before. We talked about it in a bit, but
it's so different now because now before show I drink water and I eat a little bit more, but no taking amount of diuretics, so maybe nothing.
Yeah.
But before was hard sometimes. And in my mind, I thought only that way work it. So if I don't do like this, I don't will be ready for the show. So I understood, no, I can drink water, I can do less cardio, I can eat more. And
Because with the same coach for 6 years or something, right?
yes.
So you only knew one way.
Yes.
So you're like, I
only.
take diuretics, I gotta have no water for
No
like 2
water,
days and
yes.
shit, like do these crazy measures to get.
My carb up was 700, one meal with, or 2 meals with 700 grams of carbs.
70
Rice,
yeah.
yes. And
Yeah. So just like you're going like, you depleted always into every show, right?
Yeah.
Just deplete and try to get, you said in the Olympia prep, once you lost 12 pounds in 3 days or something, or 14 pounds in 3 days or something? Or was it 5 days? It was crazy.
5 days, I lost 10 pounds in 5 days.
Yeah. But if you're ready in advance like we do now, you don't have to do that because you're ready every morning, right?
Yeah, it's because, and the other thing is you get more stressful because you don't know.
How you're going to look.
Yes. Every day change, losing 2 kilos. It's crazy.
Yeah, so if you're ready in advance, you know how you're going to look. And if you're 5 days out for a show and you're like, fuck, I'm 10 pounds where I should be,
Yeah.
then you're a lot more stressed and it's going to be a lot less.
I don't know
fun.
if I will ready or not.
Yeah, you hope for the best and you take diuretics and this and drop your water and change your sodium and do all kinds of crazy things. And then you're like, okay, I look pretty good. You're like, okay, then what about the next show? It's always the same thing where it's like you're hoping for the best, but that's why you're swinging up and down and it's hard to be consistent.
Yeah.
And then eventually your body's going to give out if you do that. Like you peaked at the 2020 Olympia when you won, then after about 6, right? And then you went 5th and then 9th. But your body eventually, like, you can't keep doing that all the time. It's not realistic to put so much stress on your body that every competition, too much on your body. So, and plus, if you lose 10 pounds in peak week, right, 5 pounds, you're going to gain that back right away.
Yeah.
After the show, right away. You lose 10 pounds, you're going to gain 10 pounds from...
Or more.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a huge fluctuation in water retention in a short period of time. And terrible for your body.
And everything hurts, like the feet, leg and everything. You feel lazy and it's so hard.
Yeah. And then trying to reverse diet after that is very difficult. But like after Olympia, you're fine. You feel fine. You don't have to water deplete that much. We didn't use any diuretics. And it's simple. Then you can just go into your off season. It's just like a normal day, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I like to do with my athletes because I realize like the longevity in the sport, that's going to be the best route. And if you're going to use tons of diuretics going to the show or even like any diuretics, honestly, you're not really ready. You should be ready in advance and then you reverse diet into the show. So then that's gonna increase your chance of having a much more successful off season if you're able to eat going to the show versus having to deplete all the way into the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you start the prep early too is very important because in my mind, when I start getting red before, I feel more motivated and more happy and my workout is better and everything works better. I saw this change with...
It's true. Like we start prep like 18, 20 weeks out, from a show, and we slowly, gradually reduce our food.
25 weeks.
25 weeks out. Yeah, that was our first show. Yeah, I know. But then after now, like this one, we started right away after Olympia. Like right when we came back from Europe, what that's going to do is going to allow me to make small, gradual changes so that we can keep our intensity up in the gym. She's able to train hard every day. Versus if you start 10 weeks out and you got to lose 20 pounds, then right away your diet goes from eating whatever you want down to 1,000 calories or 900 for 10 weeks. Then your training's going to be shit in the gym, right? You're going to be flat on stage because you have nothing, and you're going to hate the process too. It's not fun to do that for...
You don't have energy to train and everything.
But now we're 8 weeks out. You have tons of energy. You just killed you in the gym every day. Like, no, but you're alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not like just dying all day and you can't even get out of here. Okay, you're not alive while after we're done the workout for 30 minutes. So then you're like, okay, what's your current goal? Obviously, you said you want to win the Olympia again, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you want to buy a house.
Yeah. And get my post-graduation and my second graduation in nutrition for 4 more years.
Too bad. I don't know what you guys do with
Brazil.
Yeah.
We need a lot of years studying.
Yeah, in Brazil to be a nutritionist and as a personal trainer, 8 years of school. And here you can just do whatever you want when everyone can be a nutritionist and personal trainer. So someone asked me, best and hardest qualities Isa possesses as an athlete from a coach's perspective. So the easiest, it was much harder to coach her when we first started last year because she'd done the same thing with the same coach for 6 or 7 years, right? How many was 6 years or 7 years?
7.
7 years. So she was doing the same thing for 7 years, right? With the same coach she was doing the same thing for 7 years with the same coach with one methodology, right? And one mind behind it. So that's what we're used to. It's the habits you've made. That's what you expect. That's what you won the Olympia with, even in 2020. So changing mindset where everything's different is very hard on someone in any part of life. But the contest prep for this point, it was like you're eating like different food, your preps are longer and different, you're doing different cardio, you're posing a bit different, just everything is different. So it was very hard for me to convince you to just trust me, because I understand you've been doing the same thing for 7 years. But I think every show after we do, I see you're much more relaxed, you're much more, it's going to be okay, and you realize. And we spoke, I think before the Olympia, 3 weeks out, and you're like, hey, you're not as like messaging me as much, like this prep, you're not like on me this much. I'm like, yeah, because everything is going so smoothly and you're not stressed anymore. So it's like, you send a check-in, I would tell her to do and stuff too. But the first competition, I would be like, call her and be like, listen, it's going to be okay, this and that. But I'm like, this is exactly what, it's smooth. I'm like, perfect every day. We're on track. Everything's going good. I don't need to be calling you every day and making sure that you're fine mentally, because you just trust in the process. And now we're just like, it's simple, right? It's just like clockwork. We work together easily. And this prep, we're 8 weeks out now. It's been very simple. We're on track. We're just progressing. We did this trip to Toronto so that we can really learn with each other. I think the more shows we do together, the easier it's going to be for me to coach her as a coach. But another easy thing is I know she doesn't cheat on her diet. That's makes my life very simple. I don't need to be like, hey, your weight's up, did you cheat? If her weight's up for some reason, I know it's because of inflammation or something, or because she trained legs the day before. It's not because you cheat on her diet. Some athletes you don't know. If they gain 2 pounds, you're like, did you follow your diet correctly? Yeah. Are you sure? It's different, right? Because I know you're focused. The hardest thing coaching Isa right now, it's simple. Probably the lighting when you're checking stresses me out. I literally brought a freaking big light to give to her.
I bought one, but
I know, but I don't like it. I don't like it. So I brought her a freaking ring light. Use this when you're checking. This is a shorter brightness. This is how far you go. I don't have any more stress. So that,
okay.
Yeah. Because I want to be accurate. If it's going to make my life easier and make me be able to see her physique easier, I'm going to do it. Give her a ring light here. Bring it home and use it. In Brazil, it's a pain in the ass to get things there, eh?
And
like when you like in Brazil, it's like the customs 3 times the amount or something you said. I don't know, like shipping to Brazil.
yes,
Yeah, it's a pain.
Yeah. So the price of the light there.
Yeah, the price.
Yeah, it's so expensive. I paid 1,000 reais.
Yeah, so like $250 for something that's like $100 here.
Yeah, and you don't like it, the light.
Yeah, I don't like it. Or maybe it's just how you place it. But now I show you, I'm like, whatever to make my life easier in the prep so that it can be very accurate, I'm gonna do. Yeah, that's what we did. But yeah, she was a bit of a pain in the start when we started, because she was trying to make her relearn habits and stuff too, and she's very set in her ways, and she's scared, because I understand that you want to, as an athlete, a top level athlete, you have a lot of pressure on you all the time, right? You have to perform. If you don't perform, people lose faith in you very fast. One day you're Miss Olympia, the next day everyone's, I don't give a fuck who's next, right?
Yeah.
It's very hard on the athlete. You always want, if you're an amateur or whatever, but if you're a top Olympian, like, it feels good when you win, but the lows feel very low, right? Because people will forget about you right away. And
one day the people love you, and the people hate you. So
yeah, because of how you play. So it's a lot of pressure and stress, and it's not fun. So you want to make sure that everything is good. And so I understand your word, and you never did anything different than what you were used to doing. So just changing your mindset was very hard at the start. But as we go, we've been working together almost 1 year now, right? 11 months, I think.
yeah, so
February last year.
1 year in March. February. It's final February.
End of February, yeah.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
like 25 February, 25,
About
27.
10.5 months in now, so it's not very long.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for your shape for the Arnold. After we still need it. It's only 8 weeks, but now that we changed the training a little bit, I think that's going to really make a difference for like long term. It's going to be really good. I'm excited about that. You guys will see in the video. I don't know if I've posted this podcast before we post the glute training video, but you'll understand things that we changed. Couple more questions, okay? When does Isa feel was her highest and lowest point in her career? What was her mindset when she went from first to sixth? And how did that happen back in 2019 and 2020? So what was you understand the question?
Yes. How was my mindset when I got...
before that, so what was like your best feeling you ever had as an athlete?
My best feeling was I won the Olympia.
Yeah. Okay.
And Arnold, because Arnold was pressure, because was like after Olympia, and everyone, I don't need this, you already won the Olympia. So yes, I need, because I want to win Arnold one day too.
You won the Olympia, then you won the Arnold, right?
Yes, but Arnold was after, and the pressure was like, because I was the only with something to lose there.
Yeah.
So it was really hard. And the feeling there was like, yes, I get it. That was really hard, the all prep, because pressure on my shoulders.
Yeah, as the Olympia champion, if you do the Arnold after it, you gotta win. If you don't win, then you're not even. Are you really the Olympia champion anymore? It's not a good feeling. You have so much pressure, and yeah, you're the only one that's something to lose. Because someone beats you, they're like the best, and if you lose, then it's fuck. What do you do then?
Yeah, but the best feeling was when I won Olympia. I know it's crazy because the goal of my life as athlete was like win Olympia one day, and with 22 years old, and I don't know, I was like, oh my God, it's real. Like it was
very
crazy.
young to achieve that. You know?
Yes.
So it's like it's crazy.
Yes, a lot of things, and the hardest time is 2 years, 2020, when I got 1 year after one, and was really like, oh my God, because
That was the biggest drop I think ever in bikini.
Yes.
Or even maybe almost ever. Even in bodybuilding or any category, it's usually go from first to third or first to fourth, worst case scenario. But first to sixth, I don't even think that's ever even happened
Off
before.
from top 5 was like,
Yeah, shit.
it was really hard for me. I don't know if I keep going because I don't know if I'm right. I'm good for bikini yet. So a lot of things in my mind. But no, I need keeping. So this prep was something was wrong. I don't know why. So I did, but last year, no, 2022
Yeah.
was harder because it was like 9th place.
Yeah, ninth is like you're going way back now.
Yes, it was like when I started, my first Olympia was 9. And it was like 9 again. So it was really hard because I did everything on my prep. So I start my prep yearly. So I did my best every single day. I follow everything.
You follow everything you were told to do.
Yeah.
Still place ninth, and you're like,
It was like,
I retire? What do I do?
yes, I was like, no. Because after this place at Olympia, I thought, no, I did everything I need to do. So something was wrong, and was not my fault because I followed everything. So I need to change something. And I changed because I love the sport. I know I can keep going, I can do more, but I need a new direction.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, and the feedback for your Olympia when you came ninth was like, that was like one of your worst glutes ever.
Yes.
And you're like, fuck, I'm not really progressing. I'm going backwards now. So you're with someone for 6 years and you're regressing. So you're like, it's time for a change because bikini, people don't compete till they're 40 years old. It's not like bodybuilder, right? You're in and out pretty quickly. It's the category where you're in and out the quickest. So you're like, I've been regressing for the last 3 years. My shape is not improving and I want to make a change. So you're like, I'm going to try a different approach and see what happens. So you contacted me and we started working together. Yeah, it's anyone in your position, I think, would have done the same thing. It's not like you didn't, let's say like you won the Olympia and then you came 6th place, right? You could have maybe changed coaches, but you're like, you know what? I'm going to give it another chance.
Yes.
And then you're like, I'm going to give it another chance again. So then you're after like 3 years after winning the Olympia, you're like, okay, now we need to just, but it makes sense. You want to just like a different direction. And you still won the Olympia with Ricardo. So you won the Arnold with Ricardo, you won the Olympia with Ricardo, you guys did amazing together. But then after you're just like, maybe the category is evolving and maybe I just need someone to look at my body differently, right? Because I'm not really making the progress in 3 years and I don't want to retire yet. You're still young. So you're like, you're still younger than Jennifer Dory and Laura Lee. So you're like, I still have a chance to improve and I'm not done yet. You still had it in you, right? To continue.
Yeah. So I'm so grateful with the work I did with Ricardo, but this was in the past. So I like you told, I keep it 3 years and I just going down, like my places and everything. So I didn't improve. After that, no.
I think that's really, if let's say you're with let's say an athlete's with a coach and they do really well together and they have one bad show and if they leave, it's not nice. That's not nice. Or sometimes the athlete will leave when they're at the top of their level. Let's say you do really good and then you're like, I'm going to leave and join someone else. Like, why? But if you give them 3 extra years of seeing if it's going to change and it's not, at a certain point you need to be like, okay, it's time to try something else, right? If you left right after you lost the Olympia and you came 1st to 6th, people would have been like, I understand, but it still would have been like, okay, it could have been just a one time, right? Then you try again, and then you're like, okay, I need to change. I think that's pretty reasonable. I think you gave it a lot of time, and you're very reasonable and then making the decision to do that. I think no one can really say, anything against it. Where you're supposed to do this for 10 years and go like another 6 years after 6 chances of doing it doesn't make any sense. Especially if your feedback is that was the worst glutes of your career. It's fuck. What am I training for 8 years to look worse and worse every time? It doesn't make any. It's not. That's not motivating because then you're going to the next year and you're like, they said I was worse, and you follow everything. Like, what else can you do? If you're following everything perfectly, what else can you do? Nothing. You're doing everything you can do to stay motivated. You want to just, and I get that for sure. So, Olympia feedback and placing from last year to this year. So we just talked about her feedback from last year, and this year, the feedback was she was like a little bit too hard. So we have an issue with Isa that we're always trying to work on. So we need more density in the lower glute area and the upper like hamstring area to build out her tie-ins, right? And it's a genetic thing, but it's also what I realized like this week, it's a lot of a training. It's a training issue too, where she's not going full range of motion at the bottom. So her glutes are very dense right in the middle. And then on the upper glutes are pretty good, but there's no lower glutes. And that's going to be fixed after this week because we're praying that we're changing. But once we're able to build that density in that like really the area that ties right into the hamstring, not like it's still the gluteus maximus, but it's like right under it. There's a little like piece there. It's like a 2-inch thing that ties into the glutes. So ties the glutes into the hamstrings. That's when we're going to be able to bring her in a bit softer and have it pop. So now if I bring her in too soft, she doesn't have really detailed tie-ins. Then if I bring her in too hard, she has good tie-ins, but her quads are too lean. So it's the only solution to this, to bring her in perfect conditioning with perfect ties, is to add size and density to that one little 2-inch area at the bottom of her glutes. And that's going to solve all of our problems. It's not like I'm bringing her in too lean because I don't know the bikini category. It's because if I bring her in a bit softer, she's not going to have tie-ins. So it's a battle that we have to work with to grow that area. And it's not a dieting issue or a peaking issue or whatever. It's just have to build that 2-inch area under her glutes, be able to bring them in perfect conditioning so that it still shows. Jennifer Dorian, like you see her like, even if she's not lean, you see her tie-ins, like she has the density right there 6 weeks out, even if she's soft. A lot of girls had that, like you see their tie-ins even if they're soft. You say you got to get her like shredded because she doesn't have that density yet on that small little part. That's what we've been working on. That's why I wanted to bring her here to really see what we can do to fix that. 'Cause that's the only thing that we can possibly do to really make sure that we can bring her in exactly the condition they want. So that was the feedback. They're like, listen, don't change nothing. Posing was perfect. Everything was good. Just work on like the tie-in area and come in a little bit softer. But I know that was what I thought too. But I think we did as good as we possibly could for what we had. Like if I saw the Olympia look after Olympia, I would be like, we don't change nothing. This is perfect for stage. I wouldn't have changed anything. But we know what we need to do to be able to bring you in softer while still displaying the ties on the stage. It's tough.
I'm so hard because my front pose gets ready before my back pose. This part.
Two dips. So her front gets shredded and then her back shot is like softer.
Yeah.
But she said you've had this problem your whole career, right?
Yeah.
But once we add the density on the glutes, then we can bring the combo pose a little bit softer. Then it doesn't matter. You're still gonna have the ties. That's the goal. We're working on it for sure.
Yes.
And last question: competition plans this year, and how will you continue to improve her physique? So I think we talked about the physique improvements. We don't really need to grow any more upper body. We don't need to grow any more quads. Like not at all. Just fixing, maybe grow her hamstrings a little bit more, and just build that little 2-inch part in the lower part of her glutes, and that's all we got to do. And then it's going to be smooth sailing from there. And picking you is going to be simpler, and we don't have to get you as lean for competition, and it's going to be a lot easier because we have more control. What's the competitions you plan to do this year?
For me, I want to do a lot of shows.
You want to
Like I want to do Arnold's and Pittsburgh, New York, Tampa, Olympia.
We're doing Arnold, US, Columbus.
Yes, but we are going to Arnold, Ohio, Arnold, UK, and Olympia.
Yeah, we don't need to do more. We'll see probably, but I'd rather we have a good offseason to really grow that area instead of going to Olympia looking the same.
Because I need to put my mind, like you told, my big goal is Olympia. So
she has nothing to prove. You won every show. Did you win Pittsburgh before?
Yes.
You win New York?
No, 4 points.
Whatever. You won Tampa. You won all these shows. Like, we're not going to do like a prep now and then prep again for Tampa, which is like in August, and prep for Olympia. It's ridiculous. And plus, the Olympia is sooner this year too. I think it's October. If we do that in March to October, like 6 months or something, 5-6 months, that's not that long of a period. If we're doing shows after, we're not going to have any off season for Olympia, and you're going to you still improve while you're in prep, which is good because you stay lean. We don't have to. You're still growing while we're in prep because your food's still decently high. You're still able to train hard, but we're going to be able to improve a lot more if we can just really have a decent offseason where we're not dying you down at all and we're maintaining you. Strategically, if you want to place higher in Olympia, that's your best strategy for sure. And you know this too as a seasoned competitor.
Yeah. Only 3 competitions this year.
Yeah. But it's okay. But at the top level, that's what the only ones that don't do that is Ashley K. That's it. All the rest you do Arnold and Olympia, like that's it. Maureen, Jan, Laura Lee was doing that. That's once you're at that level, you have nothing to prove. You're just trying to win the title. That's what matters the most. And someone like Ashley, she likes to just do the competitions all year, but that's not realistic for most competitors. For you, obviously, the best route is going to be to just do these 2 Arnolds. All right, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna go to the Arnold US, and then we're gonna fly to UK, and then we're gonna do. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And then we're gonna just focus on the offseason and go to the Olympia. I think.
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Super good.
Good. All right, guys. That's gonna end this episode with Isa Pecini. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments or anything, let me know in the comments below on YouTube, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. Bye bye. I hope everyone like it.
You're so cute.